Hello, welcome to Show and Tell, the podcast where we revive the timeless childhood tradition. Brought to you by Eternal Puppy. What did you bring us today, AL?
Hi, Kasra. I brought this thing.
I have no idea what that is. And
Can
there's
you
some audio
tell?
listeners too, so can you, if you would like, you can describe.
Let's try describing the physical properties of this thing. This is a tube that comes to a
It
close
looks
on
like a
one end.
horn.
Well, you got it. I guess that
Oh.
wasn't hard enough. Yeah, this is a cow's horn.
Oh,
But
interesting.
the
Cows have horns?
yeah, don't you have some by your house?
No.
Okay.
But cows by our house. That's like an absurd idea to me because I live like
I,
sort of near the city.
be
Ah, yes.
a ranch owner. I don't know. Yeah, this is a cow's horn. It's from Georgia, the country.
Oh,
So I guess, do you want me to tell the story of
yes,
how I
please.
got it?
Mhm.
Nice. So me and my friend went when we were 17 on this month-long trip in the country of Georgia. Um, and we wanted to hike the mountains. There are quite um, high peaks there. And at one point, we wanted to start a trek in an area called, what is the area called? It's by a town called Oni. It's the region is called Racha. And
It would have
this
been much more
Racha
fun if you
region,
made up a name.
yeah, right? Racha, Racha, Racha. Um, so we wanted to hitchhike up to this trailhead over there and start walking near the Caucasus Mountains. And a car pulled over, and it was already full. So in Georgia, it was part of the Soviet Union, of course. And when the Soviet Union fell apart, I guess it was the case that just random people just took all the army vehicles, like Soviet vehicles and stuff. It certainly seems like there was so much chaos that people ended up with military stuff in their hands and so on.
Whoa.
But so we saw a lot of these military little jeeps or 4x4 vehicles, and this one pulled over, and it was already full. So it was a small car, but there was already six grown men in it, and it still pulled over and asked us where we wanted to go. So we said to them the name of this trailhead, which I can't remember, and they opened these two flap seats in the back, and this car has no suspension whatsoever. So you're just riding there, and your back gets like just get thrown around, and it really hurts. And one of them spoke broken English, so we were able to ask them, "What are you doing?" They had gear and all sorts of things, and they told us that they were.
Can you improv the broken English?
Yeah, I will. I will in a moment. Um, yeah, his name was. Well, their local version of Joseph. Is it Yosef or Yusuf or Yusi or something like that? That was his name.
Joseph.
It wasn't that. I think his nickname was like Susu. He was like, "Call me Susu." So we asked him what they were doing, and it turns out that they were biologists. So they had a guy specializing in mammals. There was an ornithologist. There were two botanists. There was yeah, another guy. So they were biologists going in North Georgia to outline a new national park. They were going to survey different species of animals and plants in this
Wait.
region.
Species can do surveys? They can like hold a pen in their hand and fill out like, yes, I'm satisfied with my program.
Yes, they basically called out all the species to come to this rally point and sign the papers. Yes, I am a long-eared bat. I live here. Um, so for 3 days, we got to do it with them. They were just like, come on, just do it with us, and sleep in the hotel that we're sleeping in. Just get another room and we'll see you in the morning and do whatever biologists in Georgia do. So that was awesome. And we got to actually go into caves where bats live and spread out their wings and measure them. All the stuff you see on National Geographic. They had these bat translator machines that make you hear what the bat says. So instead of not hearing anything, you suddenly hear like, and these are
Oh,
the bats like echolocating things.
I thought you were joking. Wow, that's cool.
No, that was cool. Yeah, we did crazy stuff, and all the time. Here's the broken English part. All the time, Sosa would tell us, "See this bear shit. See this mongoose shit. See this." And it was like he just went on and on. He was the guy specializing in mammals, so he was like, "See that shit." Bear shit. It was mostly bear shit, and I thought that we were going to see a lot of bears, but we didn't end up seeing any. So we had the best time with them, and I found a cow horn, not this one. They found a cow horn, and I was just walking around with it stuff, and then they told me, "Oh, you know what we're making out of this? Um, we make shot glasses from this stuff." And I was like, "Wow, so cool!" And then the driver, he was the only one who wasn't a zoologist or a botanist, and he was a perfect lookalike of John Cleese, like 1-to-1 John Cleese. Do you know who
Is that
that
an
is?
old? No, I'm guessing it's like an old actor.
Yeah, he's from the Monty Python crew in
Oh,
England,
I know
so they
Monty
did a
Python.
lot of
Yeah.
of nonsense, yeah, non sequitur kind of things, extremely funny. And we got to ride not with John Cleese, but at least with someone who looks just like him, and that was an amazing experience in itself. And his name was Gotcha. Um, so he showed me this one, and I was so excited. We spent 3 days with them. We among other things, we had a day where the botanists took pictures the whole day, and the botanists are the slowest ones to go because they have to stop. Their subjects actually are staying in place, so it's not like an animal you have to chase. They just have all the flowers right there. Um, so they went for a whole day, and then by the end of the day, they deleted all their pictures. So they tried to get out again, and there was a scare that they might have gotten lost or eaten by a bear or something. And there was the time when you just saw like Georgian country boys riding their horses drunk, and I don't know, just plenty of adventures. But at the end of this time, which was amazing, very special, just as we were about to say like an emotional goodbye to people we have not did not even have a shared language with, with most of them. And we were just saying goodbye, and then just toward the end, the driver, the John Cleese, basically John Cleese gave me this authentic Georgian shot glass. So it's a cow's horn that's, I think, soaked in water for a while and then polished really nicely, like inside and out. And it's a shot glass because you can't really put it on anything, right? So you have to
Mhm.
drink the hard liquor that's in it.
Or
And
apple
that's what
juice.
that is. Or apple juice, yeah. If you're a 14-year-old there who's coming over there and somehow ended up in a car full of zoologists, yeah, I guess you could drink apple juice, but you would probably be scorned for doing it. What do you think?
That is what this podcast is all about. Yes. Wow, I'm so glad that um you brought this here for us today. Because that when I was thinking about like what this podcast, I was thinking about like travel stories. I was thinking about travel stories like this. And yeah, this was the first travel story that I've heard. So thank you.
Yeah, the other crazy travel story from Georgia is even less educational, so I'm not sure it can be on your podcast. Nothing terrible. It's not R-rated. It's just ridiculous. So the time I did see something that looked like a bear, it was a bear hide um, in this house where we were dragged into when we got too drunk on another village after a traditional Georgian feast with the local police um,
But you
station.
had a feast with, huh? This feels
Yeah,
like a
there's
euphemism.
in no, they have feasts in Georgia. I was there in 2005. It was still not it was it had not been part of the Soviet Union for some 14 years, but it was definitely still not Western. So I think they just had their first McDonald's open then or something like that.
Interesting.
And so there was a lot of traditional things still going on, and they have a special feast, um, very traditional. There's the head of the table. He's a designated person. He's the elder there, and then he has a designated um, sort of deputy that is in charge of maybe suggesting to the elder what the next toast is going to be for, and then the head of the table has to actually call the toast and say a few words. You know, in the case of the local police, it was about, and everything is done with pitchers of wine, pitchers upon pitchers that keep going out, and it's like 20, 30 people, right, on this long table. Looks like King Arthur's table or something. And he's toasting, of course, to like dead comrades and fallen comrades that have lost their lives in the war or something like that. And we're just getting so drunk. So um, later we pass out basically, and we're lucky that it was the local police because they didn't take anything from us, even though we had our passports and cameras and whatnot. But they did have fun with us and took videos of us uh, dancing to their traditional ethnic music with their special instruments that they have in Georgia, and just going like that and doing ridiculous things, and me singing my heart out, singing I can't remember what song it was, but it was a Red Hot Chili Pepper song. So they had all this crazy documentation, and then at 2:30 at night they got us out of there, put us in the car. We were out, and they just went through the village and kind of asked everyone, who where do these Israelis stay, you know, who's in charge of them, because they can't really take care of themselves. So um yeah, in the end they found the family, and they took us in at like 2:30 at night. And the only thing just about that I remember from that night is that I slept on a bear hide. So I did get to see a bear, sort of, in Georgia.
Did you keep the bear hide as a shot glass?
No, it was there. I wasn't a thief at that point, so that was good. I wish they had given me the bear hide. Um, yeah, but
Now I'm
that was,
thinking of using the bear hide as a shot glass, and it's a little absurd.
yeah. Clearly, you're not a drinker, so which is good. Yeah, so Georgia, the country, if anybody's listening, you should go out there for sure. See how things have changed. Um, but it was a jolly good time for us there. Am I supposed to come up with any philosophical um, thing out of this? Or am I
Um,
just thinking about my podcast now?
yeah, I so previously, I'm guessing it's because it's the sort of conversations that we have are philosophical. Like with previous guests, we have philosophical conversations. but it doesn't have to be philosophical, but I'm guessing you might have good philosophical outlooks on this. Or I mean really bad ones. I'll set the expectation low.
Well, you know what? This is related to alcohol. And the other story I told you about is related to alcohol. People used to drink too much in Georgia. Um, is this philosophical? No, not at all. I think okay, the most philosophical tangent to this is that it's amazing when you're 17 how invincible you feel, what kind of trips you can go on and not feel scared. You just feel so strong. And Israelis have this type of like innate confidence in their own abilities to the point where we do stupid things. So in a subsequent trip that we made to Bulgaria, me and the same friend drank from a trough and got really ill
What's a
with some
trap?
stomach, like a water thing for uh, livestock,
Oh.
something for livestock to drink out of,
Oh.
because we felt invincible.
Uh-huh.
Um, but at the same time, we were just able to go out there to a whole different country, having this sort of just very rough outline of what we're going to do there. And it was just one big adventure, amazing adventure, that gave me not only these like crazy stories that I'm sharing with you, but obviously the bond that I have with this friend of mine that is not going to be, this like indelible um, sort of contract between us, and the bond that formed in these kind of treks and trips. And I wonder how much of that is present in today. Like, would you consider doing that at 70 or even 20? Is that something that you would do? Go to a different country where you don't speak the language and do something like that?
I don't know if I would. I mean, alcohol to me as a teenager seems like unnecessarily dangerous. But that
No, no, forget about the alcohol. Yeah, that
okay,
was
okay.
stupid us. But just in terms of going out on an adventure, like let's say a country that definitely has lower standards of living than the US and where you don't speak the language. Would
Okay.
you consider going there when you're 17, 18, 20?
My parents might get mad at me for this decision, but I think I would, because Seek Discomfort has been an inspiration in my life. And going to a place where you don't know the language, they've done that to like an extreme where they're homeless. They're like, not homeless, but they don't have a credit card. They just have their camera, and a phone if something goes
Who did
wrong.
your parents did?
No, Seek
Oh,
Discomfort.
oh, okay.
Oh, I mean, Yes Theory, which is a YouTube channel and like group of
Hmm.
people.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I guess that's what I meant. Seek Discomfort is a clothing brand. And so they would go, and yeah, and they would ask people for like hospitality or food, uh, and they would explain like the challenge to them. No, wait, would they? I'm now forgetting because I haven't watched one in a while. But that stuff has been, going out of your comfort zone like that has been an inspiration to me, to the point where I would not to the point where I would do something like not that extreme, but I would go up to someone and ask them like, "Hey, are you this person's cousin?" Or like, um, yeah, something like that. Um, because I'm just trying to get out of my comfort zone, and um, I think the best things in life are outside of the comfort zone. Um, so yes, I think I would consider doing something like that.
And what would be a candidate country for you to do this in?
Georgia.
Just yeah,
I
yeah.
don't really
See,
know countries, so
I
that's
know that
like a good one.
it's also something that I'm thinking about because I know other people who have gone to Georgia even recently, and the country has changed its face. I mean,
Hmm,
more roads were built, everything became modernized, kind of Western, of course. And see, I think that there's something about this kind of modernization that makes it. So first of all, there's the age factor that I don't see myself doing it anymore, partly because I did it, but now it would sound to me like a hassle and a kind of a crazy, dangerous thing to do. But I also think that with modernity come um, more danger in some way. Like people are less naive. Like when we went there, they still had their traditional ways, and I think that in traditional societies, people can be poor, but never for 1 minute think of taking something from someone else. Whereas in societies that are Western, there's so much of this comparison between people and competition
interesting. I didn't know that.
that it just feels a bit more dangerous to me to
Hmm,
be somebody who's coming to a poorer country where you're easily recognized as somebody who's probably has some money on them or so
hmm.
on, you know? So that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. There's this meme that goes like how like a fish asks someone another fish like how's the water, and then the the other fish says what's water, because they're not aware of their environment because they have never been outside of the water. And I feel that because I live in Western civilization, I don't understand the things that are Western. It just seems like a way of life that everyone has, as true as language. Maybe not true. Uh, I'm working with a dialectician, so maybe I should watch my words. Uh, there we go. The podcasting apple doesn't fall apart from the tree, huh? We got philosophical.
Well, yeah, it happens with me. I
It's
can be
really
silly. I'm trying my best, and then I end up being philosophical.
no,
So,
I love it. I huh. I wonder how many the asymmetrical I call like yes theory like an asymmetrical relationship with their viewers. I guess that's another word for parasocial. Where or it's like time asymmetrical, so they can upload something 5 years ago and I just watch it now. So it's not constrained by um the time of a like of a real time relationship. Um, and it's just one way, or but the community aspect is what makes it two ways. Um, and is that completely new with the internet? No, I guess it's not because books have still existed. There are asymmetrical relationships.
yeah, I'm not sure. What do you mean now when you say when you were talking about watching it in 5 years' time? What exactly were you talking about?
Oh, watching it 5 years ago. So if I any yes theory video, if YouTube recommends it to me, I might
Mm,
click on it and watch it. So it's I call it asymmetrical because it's not constrained by the real time properties
mm,
of a normal interaction.
right, right. So you can postpone it indefinitely until the day you watch it, but that's not how things work. Um, yeah, in different
Yeah.
parts of the world, I guess.
Hmm. I guess that speaks to the power that they have. It's like they can influence one to they're just a YouTube channel, but they can influence so many people. Um, I don't know how many people they've influenced to the extent that they've influenced me. But I mean, they have like 5 million subscribers, so that's a lot of lateral influence.
Yeah, if you just take what, like 0.01% of that, that's still a lot of people, I guess.
Hmm.
It's like 5,000 people. That's
Which is deeply inspirational for anyone trying to impact the world to that extent.
Are we trying to do it? Are we trying to change the world?
I maybe this is naive, um, my naive childlike obsession with Steve Jobs, but I like to think I am. I haven't yet, of course, but Eternal Puppy as a medium, I don't know if it has the potential to that extent, but it does have some sort of potential.
Yeah, for sure. Let's hope that it does. I think for me, the impact you or I with my podcast will have is going to come if we do the thing that we really feel we should be doing and we
Mhm,
enjoy making and we enjoy working on. I think putting um, the outcome uh, on a pedestal and really aim for that is self-defeating
mhm. That reminds me
because
of the quote, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is more people that are alive, or something like that.
there you go. That's pretty good.
Mhm.
Is that who said that? No, just
I don't know.
doesn't
Not
matter who
me.
said. Yeah, that's I think that's right. What we want is openness, authenticity, people who are able to talk about all aspects of human life. It could be argued that every bad thing that happened is kind of a person who didn't feel safe enough to express themselves. And
Interesting.
if we're not called out for being um, non-authentic or inauthentic.
Do you have any examples of that? I mean,
We're
hmm?
no, go ahead.
Do you have any examples of what you were saying?
Examples for people who are inauthentic or are authentic.
Inauthentic, or who were inauthentic and they deeply
Oh, I
affected
think I
history.
think that I think that all of culture, broadly speaking, is inauthentic because we are still at the point where, for most parts of the day, we don't actually communicate what we actually think about. We communicate things that are just superficial, that
Mm,
are about looks and appearances. We communicate things to make ourselves look better rather than communicating things to benefit other people or benefit ourselves by being vulnerable so other people can step in and offer help. So we're basically, 90% of what we're doing is bullshit. So I think that's not quite healthy. Um, it is better than ancient societies where everything would be on the table and that thing would be aggression and the wish to go to war and rape and do those
mm,
things. I do think that it's better, but I think that I do see more and more people online, especially that are, and even celebrities and high profile people. It's a lot more um, accepted today to kind of spill your guts and really say there. And even though you can be a millionaire and a world record holder in the number of gold medals you have, like Michael Phelps, like actually say, look, I'm suffering. We're all in this together, and just start talking about these existential crises that we're all going through, or the universal difficult emotions that we're going through, and not hide behind these facades of success and having
Hmm.
material wealth and all this bullshit. This is all
Hmm.
bullshit. So this is what I mean. And when you say the world needs more people who are alive, yeah, I think I connect that with authentic. And eventually, when we all communicate our real feelings to one another, we see that we're all pretty much the same. There will be a lot more mutual help and reciprocity between people, focusing on what really matters in life, which is relationships with other people, and so on.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it can be an isolating experience when everyone is trying to act happy and they're not, because then it's like, what? I'm the only one that's not happy. Um, but then you're also um, masking that because everyone else is, which speaks to how society is very mimetic. Does it? I don't know. I don't really, I just say things. I don't really know what I mean.
What's the word you use?
Mimetic.
Yeah. Um, yeah, definitely. It's just as you say it. When we are busy with looks, um, that's exactly right. That's what happens, to people who are on Instagram for too long, and on or Facebook or Twitter, and they see these wonderful lives of other people, they think. And we need more people who are willing to go out there and be vulnerable and call out this culture of appearances, which
Mhm.
has always existed to a certain extent, you
Huh.
know. Um, but we really want to make it about just being open and
Mhm.
and disinfect everything. They say that sunlight is the best disinfectant, as in the
Ooh.
truth, or like, uh, why am I saying it wrong? Um, yeah, that you just want people to be transparent about their
Mhm.
struggles.
That's
And
why the built in public movement is so strong, I think, is because it's anti to that culture.
yeah, I think it is. I think that a lot of the building in public, though, can be biased towards showcasing stories of success. No, but yeah, I also see a lot of tweets by people who said, "Here's the story how I had this colossal failure and what I took away from it." And yeah, I really appreciate that. That's amazing. Even if it's just takeaways that are kind of technical from these things, but even just hearing people say, I failed. But this is definitely something we want. We want a culture where people are not afraid to fail, because they know they'll have people to pick them up and help them
Mhm.
recover and do great things still.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I've seen like a website or part of a personal website that shows the failures, and I thought that was awesome.
The
Um,
what?
the failures.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. Yeah, I think whether it's failures, whether it's just things that hurt you, and you're not being um, dismissive of them. You're not, if it's a trauma you've been through, if it's a breakup you've been through, people who open their heart and mind and just communicate it and say, just because I'm down doesn't mean I'm out, and I'm here. And these people are end up being actually greatly appreciated
Hmm.
by other people, and we want to see it continuing more so than we want to see people um, adoring personas that we know nothing about, or
mm,
sports players only based on their sport playing abilities.
mm,
I think that it's very good today that sports, that Simone Biles can quit in the final because he says mental health is more important than sports. I think that's a huge step in the wrong direction for humanity, that everyone sees this and
Wait,
learns from it, that
did you
yes,
say
there are
wrong or right
things.
direction?
No, it's absolutely. If I said wrong, I meant right.
Okay.
Um, it's definitely the right direction because we want to see more acknowledgement that there are things bigger than sports, bigger than material success, and so on.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, do you have anything else to say, or should we? Because I
Um,
can't think of much else. These are good
no,
points.
I'm good, man.
All right.
It's all
Thank you so
thanks to
much.
this. See how
Yeah.
this very clearly was a segue to all of that.
Yeah. I think that's why I like this prompt because you can look around you and it's a portal to a deep conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on this podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Casper.